Hi, and welcome to AssetFit. In today's video, we are going to see how to log in into your AssetFit account and set it up for the first time. The first thing that you need to do is go on to this URL from any browser, app.getassetfit.com, and hit enter. This will take you to the login page, and if you are a first time user, all you need to do is click on the sign up page, fill in the required details, and sign up with your details to create your account. Once you have signed up, go back to the login page, log in with your email ID and password, and enter the account. This will give you access to the entire web-based application. You can also have a look at the mobile application. Let me just bring up my mobile screen up for you. This is the mobile application, which you can see right over here. And you can download this application by searching for AssetFit both on Play Store and App Store. The first thing that we're going to do is setting up the account. For setting up the account, there are four key components that you need to take care of. The first thing that you need to do is create all the locations within your facility, whether it's a manufacturing facility or a building or any kind of facility wherein you perform maintenance. Setting up locations is extremely easy. There are two ways to set up locations. One is by entering them manually. So for that, you need to click on new locations, enter the location name. Let's say I'm going to enter shop floor as one of my location. You can enter the location address. Let's say I'll enter Houston, and you need to enter a parent facility, manufacturing plant 1, and hit submit. This will create a new location for you within your facility. Alternatively, what you can do is fill out an Excel template and upload all of your locations in a single click. The second thing that you need to do is create assets and attach to each of these locations. Creating assets is again similar to creating locations. The one way to do it is by manually creating a new asset. Let's say I'm going to create an asset of a DG set. Enter the DG set as an asset name, DG set 1. I'll enter the make as comments. I'll put in the serial number, model, 250 kW. Enter some description, category, electrical. Enter a code which you have assigned for the asset, and attach it to a location. So I'm going to attach it to the location that we just created, which was the shop floor, and hit submit. Once you submit the asset, the new asset has been created. As you can see over here, you can edit or delete the asset as and when required. Alternatively, you can upload all the asset lists through an Excel based template right into AssetFit. Once you have created your locations and assigned assets to each of these locations, the next thing that you need to do is create your team member login ID password and invite them to use AssetFit. If you are an admin, creating a new user is extremely easy. Just click on the new users tab, enter their name, assign them a password. Let's say I'm going to put AssetFit@123 as the password. Select an account type for them. There are 5 types of account you can assign to the newly created user. You can either make him an administrator, a technical user, a limited technical user, a view only user, and a requester. The view only and requester are free of cost, and you can add as many view only and requesters as you want. The administrator, technical user, and limited technical users have varying roles and responsibilities within the AssetFit environment. An administrator has complete access and authority over the subscription, whereas a technical user and limited technical users have access to the work orders that they create or the work orders that are assigned to them. and you can select an appropriate job title and hit submit. Now this new user can log in to the AssetFit account using his email ID and password. Once you have invited all your team members, you are ready to use AssetFit. If you want to manage your spares and consumables inventory within the AssetFit environment, you can click on the Parts tab and add all the spare parts and consumables inventory right into AssetFit. Creating inventory is again very simple. You can either manually create your inventory. Let's say you are putting up gaskets for 4-inch pipe. You can enter the part description, part category. Let's say it's for plumbing, and you can enter the unit costs. Let's say I'm going to enter a $5 unit cost. Enter the current quantity that your stock holds. Let's say I have 25 number of gaskets within my inventory as of now, so I'll enter that. And the minimum order quantity that you want to set for this inventory. Let's say I'll enter 5. Sorry. You can enter the other details. You can assign this part to a specific worker within your team. You can assign the part to a specific location or to a specific asset. Once you hit submit, a new part is created into the inventory management module of AssetFit. What happens is, once you have set the minimum order quantity, as the parts gets consumed in work orders, the quantity starts depleting. And once the quantity goes below minimum order quantity, an alert is generated notifying all the users that the minimum order quantity has been reached and you need to restock your inventory. This becomes extremely useful for managers so that they never run out of critical spares and inventory while performing their maintenance activities, and they can plan ahead for maintaining optimum levels of inventory. We understand that maintenance teams are responsible for taking in requests of maintenance from different departments and perform their activities. That's why we have created a request page, the link of which can be shared with external parties. Once the link has been shared with the requesters can create a request simply by clicking on the create request button and entering in their requests. Let's say I'm requesting for a pipe leakage and change of pipe. I can set up a priority for my work, and I can even ask for a due date. Let's say I set up the due date that this work should be finished by Wednesday. So I'll set that and submit the work request. The maintenance manager sees all the requests populating on his dashboard. The maintenance manager can either edit the request, decline the request if he feels that the request is not valid, or approve the request. Let's say if the manager approves the request, as soon as the manager approves the request, a new work order is created in that request. So as a request is created, you'll see that the request is converted into a work order and it's put into process. The manager can then edit this work order, add description if he wants to. Go to flow 3, select a category. Let's say we're selecting a damage category for this and put in an estimated duration. The manager can then assign the work order to a specific technician. Let's say I'll assign it to John and assign a location and an asset to the BG set 1 and attach a checklist or attach some files which are relevant to the work order. We'll come to checklist and files in a bit and hit submit. As soon as a technician is assigned to a work order, the work order pops up on the mobile application of the specific technicians and notifies him that this work order is pending on him. The technician can then log in into his mobile application, check the details of the work order, understand what he needs to do, complete the work order, and then close the work order right from his mobile application. Alternatively, a manager can create a new work order by clicking on the new work order tab and filling in the required details. Let's say I'll create a new work order for oil change in DG set, go to DG1. I'll put in the description. I'll keep the default status as open. I'll set up the priority as a critical priority, and I'll set up a due date as Wednesday, and I'll set up a time as 6 p.m., a due time which is at 6 p.m. If you want to create this work order into a preventive maintenance work order or a schedule based work order, you can select the recurrence type over here and set it to daily, weekly, monthly, or 6 monthly frequency. What happens is once you set this frequency, an automatic work order will be created on the specified schedule so that you don't miss a preventive maintenance work order. I'll set up a category as preventive, set up an estimated duration, and I'll assign it to job. I'll give it a location of shop floor, and the asset would be the DG set. And I'll hit submit. What this will do is it will create a recurring work order which will recur every week on Wednesday. We understand that a lot of maintenance work orders require the operators to fill in a checklist. That's why we have created the checklist builder right into AssetFit. Using this feature, you can build in a custom checklist right into the application. Let's say you create a new checklist. The left hand side, you're seeing the checklist builder, and on the right hand side, you'll see a live preview as the checklist gets built. We just created a work order for DG set oil change, and I'm going to build a checklist for that. DG set oil change checklist. This is the heading of the checklist, and then you can add items in the checklist. Now, checklist items can be of 5 types. You can either ask the operator to enter a text observation, ask him to enter some meter reading, or you can give him choices from which he can pick a choice. You can ask him to complete a subtask of the entire task, or you can ask him to inspect something. And I'm going to create a checklist which constitutes all of these 5 items. Let's say I'll set what is the current oil range, and I'll set this as a multiple choice option: slow, medium, or high. Add one more option as empty, and I'll add another item, let's say total run hours, and I'll ask him to enter a number observation over here. I'll add another field and ask him to clean the air filter, and this would be a subtask of the entire work order. I'll ask him to inspect the oil quality, and this will be an inspection. The 5th item would be any other actions, and I'll ask him to enter any other actions that he has taken on the work order. And this is the preview of the checklist that we just created. Once I hit submit, you see the checklist has been created and stored as a template. Now I'll go to the work order. I'll go to the work order and open up the work order that I just created, the oil change in DG set. Edit the work order, and I'll edit all recurring work orders because I want this checklist to be attached to all of the recurring work orders. I'll select the all recurring work orders feature, and I'll go ahead and attach the checklist. I'll choose from the template that I've made, the DG set oil change checklist. The preview of the checklist is available here so that you add the correct checklist and then attach. And hit submit. So here's the checklist that has been attached to this work order. Similarly, you can create as many checklist templates as you want and attach them to the specific work order. Now I'll pull up my mobile screen and show you how the operator would see the checklist and how we can fill the checklist. Here's my mobile screen. Just bring it in the center. So let's say I'm going to open up this first work order, which is the transformer 1 p.m. daily. All the relevant information regarding the work orders are displayed over here. So if I am going to start the work order, I'll put the work order in progress. And here's the checklist attached to this work order. So I'll one by one fill on this checklist. Let's say the first thing is check winding temperature and ensure that's within safe limits. I'll put it as pass. I'll select one of the three options. The next option is a multiple choice question. Check oil level gauge. I will go and select an option and save. If the operator has certain observations, he can record his observations right into this tab by clicking on this icon. Let's say oil change might be required, and the information gets stored. And there's a subtask for me to do at point number 3, check that air passages are free. I'll start the work, and once I'm done with the checking, I'll close the subtask. Then the fourth option is measure dielectric strength and note it. Let's say I'll do that and note down water content. Say I noted that down and check sealing arrangement and find out whether there is a leak. And I'll say that yeah, there's some problem in this thing. Because I've reported a problem, what I can do is I can click on the updates tab and click a picture. Let's say I'll just click a picture. You can click a picture of the problem and crop it and attach it to the work order and key in your observations. Let's say the air passage was not clear and you recorded your observation right over here. Once you're done with the work order, you can close the work order. And once the work order is closed, everywhere within the AssetFit environment, the information for that work order will get updated. So everybody knows that the work order has been completed and the information has been recorded for that. So you see, it's extremely easy for the operator or technician to complete the work order right from his mobile application, record his observations, click a picture of before and after work order, or report any problem through the picture, and send his comments to the entire team. It becomes an extremely useful collaborative tool and records all the information that is used in a maintenance work order. Now, a situation might arise where, for completing the maintenance activity, the technician or the operator need access to certain drawings or manuals or standard operating procedures or SOPs to complete the work order. You can enable the operator with all the required material and files using the file upload feature. What you can do is you can upload new files right into AssetFit. Let's say I'll upload a file of the area that he needs to go and complete his work order. I've uploaded that image and saved it. You can upload multiple files, SOPs, photographs, drawings, anything that is relevant to the work order. And then you can go into the work order and attach all of these files. Say I'm going to the oil change in DG set work order. And I'll attach the files over here. You can either attach new files for the work order, or you can choose from the files that you have already uploaded. I'm going to select the file that I had already uploaded and I'll attach it to the work order. So now when the operator is working in the field and filling out information in his mobile application, he can have access to this file and see what all needs to be done. You can also add parts and consumables which would be consumed from the inventory in this work order by clicking on this add parts button, which will prompt you to choose the parts which you have uploaded in your inventory. Let's say I'm going to choose gasket for 4-inch pipe, which I had created, and I'll say that I require five numbers of this gasket, and I'll add in this work order. So the operator knows that he needs to take out these 5 gaskets from the storehouse and use in this work order. And I'll close the work order. As soon as I complete the work order, what will happen is in my parts section, my quantity has dropped from 25 to 20, which means that I just consumed 5 gaskets in my particular work order. And if I click on the part, I'll be able to see the history of the consumption. So I click on this and it will show me that this work order that I completed on April 5th, I've consumed 5 quantities in this work order. I click on this work order and it will take me to the exact same work order which we were working on right now. So you see, as soon as the work orders are completed, the inventory level gets auto adjusted. You can also check the history of work orders that have been performed on a particular asset. Let's say you click on this asset, go to the work order history page, and you see all the work orders that have been performed on this particular asset. In our effort to help the maintenance managers and maintenance teams better plan and schedule for their activities, we have created a fairly simple and intuitive to use calendar application. In the calendar application, the maintenance teams can see what all work orders are upcoming for the entire month, uh, entire week. You can have a day by day view of the upcoming activities or what all activities needs to be performed today. You can also filter the calendar using either location, the technician to whom the work has been assigned to, the priority of the work order, their status, or the type of work order, whether it's a one-time work order or a PM, which is a recurring work order. The calendar feature of AssetFit will help technicians and maintenance managers plan ahead for the entire week or entire month. As we are capturing important information regarding the maintenance activities, we have created a dashboard which can be used to highlight key KPIs and share it with the team management. Currently, you can see the total work orders and the distribution amongst open work orders, closed work orders, in progress work orders, and on hold work orders. You can filter the dashboard using the dates, the locations, the assignee to whom the work order has been assigned, or the priority of the work order. Dashboard will help the maintenance teams have a bird's eye view of the entire maintenance activity and see if there are any bottlenecks or areas of concerns that needs to be tackled.